Hello and welcome to Armenia. In this video I'll be taking you along for the ride documenting my experience of capturing Armenia with my camera. So we're kicking off with Yerevan, the capital city of Armenia. I always find it a little bit overwhelming when I go to a new place, so I like to keep my first shots simple, getting a feel for the environment, the light, the textures. And I also like a slower approach, feeling out the vibe of the city, but also getting some photos as soon as possible, just to get my eye in and build my confidence. I noticed this empty sign in the street here. I really like the colours and just want to wait for someone to walk through so I can frame them up. Just a little bit of fun. It was the beginning of spring and there were flower sellers everywhere. I really wanted to include the vibrant colours of the flowers here, so I went for a composition that highlighted that. This photo is more about the shapes and colours of the scene rather than a specific moment. They have these cute little drinking fountains all over the city, so, you know, London, city planners, take a note of that. But yeah, it was a very warm day, so I had to take advantage here. Here I noticed a lady with flowers coming towards me. Flowers were definitely a bit of a trigger on this trip, and I talked about that in my last video, which you can check out here if you'd like, after you watch this one of course. This photo is a lot of fun. It was really warm and this pigeon was standing in just the right place to catch the shade. It's a really simple photo, but it's a nice little detail that tells a micro story of the city with a little bit of humour, which I really enjoy. All over Yerevan there are ripped posters. If you follow this channel you'll know that I love a good ripped poster photograph, and I got so many on this trip. Not really street photography, but I love the abstract nature of the compositions you can make and I find the images really pleasing. What I really loved here was we found this woman who was tearing up the posters with a knife and putting them into a bag. I'm not really sure why she was doing that, but I found it quite poetic that she was inadvertently creating these wonderful artistic shapes out of the posters without really meaning to, for me to then come along and capture with my camera and appreciate afterwards. I'll put up some of my favourite poster photographs from Yerevan now. Time for a quick coffee break at this wonderful cafe. Shout out to Lumen 1936. If you're enjoying the video, now's a great time to hit the like button and drop a comment. It really helps with the algorithm, so thank you if you do that. Here I really liked this juxtaposition between the church and the old Soviet high-rise in the background, and I was aiming to include that in a composition with a human element for scale. Simple but effective. Some more flowers here. I could have been probably a bit bolder and worked the scene a bit better, trying to find maybe a bit of a better composition, but I still like the colours and the shapes in this photograph. Some more fountains here as well, and this man was washing his flute or oboe or something, so not exactly sure what instrument it is, but I thought it made for an unusual moment, so snapped off the shot. A bit later on in the day we came back to this location as the light was really nice. So I aimed to capture someone framed up in that light. I saw this guy smoking a cigar and his peach shirt worked so well with the background colour, which is quite visually pleasing. Next we headed into the biggest outdoor market in the city. Usually I like to take candid photography, but here I had a great time interacting with a bunch of guys playing backgammon, and I'm actually really happy with the photos that I got as a result of interacting for once, rather than just snapping a shot and heading off. Always nice to change it up a bit, though I was a little bit offended when he thought I was an Arsenal fan. No thank you.
He want to say, you listen the Armenian song about the London.
No, I don't think I would. No, I don't think so.
You Paraшу любить, parašu страдать. Все
Abaranum song.
Song. Yeah.
Abaranum tanel motik. Kezi govam motik bobi. Kezi govam ima varan. Londonit ekan kardezetaran. You.
It's beautiful. It's good. It's good.
Market
It's very good.
Market. You went in ballet in Arsenal.
Yes. Brighton.
Arsenal.
Brighton. No, Brighton.
Brighton.
Yeah, that's my team. Brighton. Yeah. Goodbye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
The Yerevan metro is a little bit rough around the edges, but it's also a fascinating place to visit as someone from a country never part of the Soviet Union. It almost felt a bit like being on a movie set at times. Oh, and I found out the hard way that photography is strictly prohibited on the underground in Yerevan, so when the cops noticed and had a massive go at me, I kind of stopped taking pictures. So unfortunately, I didn't get many photographs on the metro, but I still got a handful of photographs that I like before I decided not to anger the authorities any more than I already had. This is the Cascade complex in Yerevan. I really loved photographing here, even though there wasn't much footfall. So I kind of focused more on simple scenes anchored by people instead of trying to look for busy moments and scenes. It's so different to any architecture I'd seen before, and the views were sublime looking out over to Mount Ararat in the distance. I really like these guys rinsing down the fountains ready for summer. The walls were so high, so without figures you'd lose the sense of scale of the place. So while these photos are quite simple and maybe not that spectacular, I do like them to give a feel of the environment and give a sense of scale for the place that I was in. Rolling on with the minimal style theme, I actually quite enjoyed looking for more simple, streamlined compositions. It's something that I've gone away from a little bit in my recent work, but I've also got more layered shots later on in the video, so stick around for that. I'm a big fan of just making photos regardless if it suits my style or not, especially when I'm travelling. I'm just looking to take photographs that hopefully show a slice of the place that I visited. This scene I really enjoyed. I noticed a couple hugging and it was a really beautiful moment, especially with the epic view behind. I really couldn't decide on which edit I preferred here, so I've just included both. I really enjoyed this sculpture in a dry fountain right at the top of the cascade. The shapes and tones were great and I just aimed to frame it up so the tip of the outstretched hand touched the top of the mountain. It's a simple photo, but I really like it. This isn't street photography at all, but I really loved the colour of these flowers framing the mountain. So I got close, used a wide aperture and very fast shutter speed to get a landscape photo that's actually one of my favourites from the whole trip. It was time to move on from Yerevan for the day and explore some of the mountains and monasteries. The first stop was Khor Virap Monastery, overlooking the wonderfully dramatic Mount Ararat. This is a simple scene, but I really liked how the red parasol lined up, mirroring the mountain almost exactly, as well as the pop of red in the composition. It's a simple photo, but one I really enjoy. Here was a great opportunity to capture some tourists doing tourist things, which can actually often make for fun photographs and gives a great opportunity to practice more layered photos and compositions with more visual interest. I'll be talking a bit about layered compositions more in a video in the future, so if you're enjoying this one, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Next we headed out to Noravank Monastery, which I absolutely loved. Here it gave me the opportunity to spend a little bit more time and capture Armenians who had come to pray and visit the site. I got 2 of my favourite photographs from the whole trip here, and I wonder if you can guess which they are. Let me know in the comments. I've absolutely no idea what was going on here, but I love the chaos and it gave me a great opportunity to practice with layering and composition, which I've really been trying hard to bring more into my work recently. Here we've reached Tatev, which was nothing short of breathtaking. We took the cable car as well, which afforded spectacular views, but also gave me the chance to snap a couple of photos of the tourists we were enjoying the trip with too. The Tatev monastery itself was wonderful, and I spent some time getting the right composition and waiting for someone to walk into the frame just to give that human element the sense of scale, and I think this shot works really well. So for the final part of this video, I visited the Genocide Memorial Monument for the 1915 genocide of Armenians. It's a very beautiful monument and it was really moving to see so many school children and families laying flowers by the eternal flame. I won't narrate over the final part of this video, but I'll leave you with the footage and the photos.
Thank you.